Hi Sagittarius, this is Meg with Padmes, and we are doing your mid-month love reading, June 2020. So, there we go. Mid-month love reading, Sagittarius, June 2020. I'm calling in your angels and guides of the highest vibrations of love and light. I'm asking for the collective Scorpio energy for love, mid-June 2020. What is it that you need to know in your present time for your greatest good and your most benevolent outcomes? Here we go. What do you need, Scorpio? What's going on with your energy this month? And the first thing that I'm noticing here is the heart of the situation. The heart of the situation is talking about some kind of defeat, a feeling of defeat, and a feeling of loneliness, or a feeling of isolation. It also feels like it's like wind taken out of your sails kind of thing. It feels like a stopping of pursuing someone, a halt in pursuing someone. And there's also, like, that all seems sad and heavy and upsetting, but yet when I look at past, present, and future, there's the cutting away of something that no longer serves you, a way of being that no longer serves you. The present is like, I'm an expert at really what brings me joy. What brings me joy, creativity, a sense of worth and accomplishment. And this is also having to do with following your guides, following your soul truth. And the outcome is talking about no longer waiting to find your soul truth, not being held back by these past things. You are an expert at you, Scorpio. You are an expert at you. You know your truth, and no longer waiting to pursue that. So there's a halting and pursuing something from the past, feeling isolated, and then this giant catapult forward. At the heart of the situation is talking about getting over some undercurrent of, this actually looks like some sadness, specifically about not being able to step into your king, not being able to step into your power, but your confidence. So there's sadness around not feeling confident, not being in a place or a situation where you could feel confident, and moving into a different place where you absolutely feel empowered. Your higher self is talking about, there's like some sneaky monkey energy, a sneaky monkey situation, sneaky monkey energy, or the being labeled as such. Doesn't necessarily mean sneaky monkey energy, but it definitely can mean that. It also can mean I've been thinking about myself. I've been thinking for myself. I've been thinking for myself without thinking about other people, but sometimes we need to do that. Sometimes we do need to think about ourselves first to get aligned before we can even, to take care of ourselves before we can even think about other people. So, but this is saying I'm doing that, but there's some like guilt associated with it because I'm not thinking about someone else. And we have the Empress here reversed. So this Empress is an unhappy Empress. She is an unhappy Empress. We do not like unhappy Empresses, that is for sure. They don't respond well to things that upset them. Okay, so this is in your past, and this is what this is coming from. So there's some type of love situation where the Empress is unhappy. This can be man or a woman. This is just feminine energy. And there's some type of unhappiness here and everything else is sprawling from that. The Empress is unhappy, and there's a feeling of going into sequestering, going into isolation, not pursuing something anymore because the Empress is unhappy. There's also, it does look like there's some unfinished business that needs to be taken care of. Really see the idea that this is all wrapped up and this is all a done deal. Right. Okay. So, Scorpio, this isn't just about this relationship. This is also about patterns and themes that you brought with you into this relationship. So, you might have an unhappy Empress here, but she's mirroring unhappiness that is being caused by these themes and patterns that you've had, that you brought through different relationships or up through. Really, what I'm feeling is this life, and I'm not feeling past life stuff right now. So it does have to do with, it's consciously recognizing patterns and themes in this life. So this doesn't feel unconscious to me at all. Though your angels and guides are saying, I haven't dealt with this. I've decided not to deal with this in the past, but it doesn't mean that you were unconscious about it. I feel like you knew about it. There's also some resistance to making this happy again. So your advice, this card just looks hideous, but it's also very dramatic. This card can sometimes feel very dramatic when it's not as dramatic as it actually seems. But what this is about, and this is your advice, is talking about bringing things full circle, things coming to an end. So you have resistance to making this work, making this right, so to speak, fixing it so that you can stay in it. And your advice is even talking about this is full circle. Even in the past, there's something that needs to be, you need to turn away from the past and head toward the future so that you can step into your Emperor. As a matter of fact, you've got the Emperor reversed and the Queen, not the Queen, the Emperor reversed and the Empress reversed in this spread. Both of them. So this is like the Empress was unhappy and so was the Emperor. There was unhappiness on both sides. And what I really feel is that it's not the Empress making the Emperor unhappy. It's not the Emperor making the Empress unhappy. It's both of them coming from a place of unhappiness and bringing it into the light in the arena of this relationship. Woo! And now it brought full circle so that you can move forward into your true power, into your true path. What I want is another card for trajectory. The trajectory right now is no longer having to wait, no longer having to sit in sadness, no longer having to wait. The trajectory also, this is really important, Scorpio. You can relive this again. You can relive this pattern and theme again, or you can let this be the end of the pattern and theme that doesn't serve you anymore. Yeah, you can draw this out more if you want to. Maybe even if you don't want to, but if it's just part of the pattern, that's what is a possibility that you can do. It's saying no longer wait, but if you leave this relationship, for instance, and you can relive this in your mind, so you could bring it into another relationship, or you could keep yourself from being in a wonderful relationship because you have this pattern that you're still ruminating. Okay, I'm going to pull Magpie Oracle for this trajectory. Scorpio, what do you need to know about going forward? Oh, wow. This is a little tiny mirror. This is about, oh, I get it. This is about not blaming other people, but just looking at what is around you to be reflected back to you. What's going on in your purse is what's going on in your life. What's going on in your head is what's going on in your life. What you are thinking about, how you are keeping it organized in your mind, is what is tumbling out into your environment. So what is mirroring back to you, notice it instead of blaming and instead of thinking you need to take yourself out of a situation because somebody else is or rude or whatever. It's more like, how did I get myself here? That doesn't mean that you're not done with it, but there's something that still needs to be looked at so that you don't repeat the same cycle going forward into the future. How did I get myself here? What is it that I need to look at? Higher self saying, what is my higher self trying to say to me that I need to look at so that I can overcome this and move forward and move past it? I want to pull a romance oracle card for advice for you, Scorpio. This one wants to come out too. Okay, chemistry, finances, and career. There's a strong magnetic attraction here. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. That very well could be, Scorpio. It seems like there's an end of something, but it also looks like there's quite a beginning of something. Chemistry, there's a strong magnetic attraction. What I'm really feeling about this card is there's a strong magnetic attraction to moving forward into the future. You have a lot of things waiting there for you. This has to do with creativity. Advice. I keep hearing advice. Let's pull another card. Yeah, I see. This has a lot to do with opening up your creative channels, opening up your manifesting magnet, your heart space. And you do this when you leave this situation. It's a symbolic situation for you of the past or of these patterns that don't serve you. And this would be releasing great burden from you and having to do with finances and career, financial issues. The chemistry is the magnetic attraction to your future, but it's also the magnetic attraction that you are creating in your heart space. That is what draws in and pulls in everything that you want to manifest. So make sure that your manifesting magnet is exactly what you want here so that you can pull in the things that match it. Relationships, careers, and creative endeavors. Okay, Scorpio, thank you. And I will see you next month.